It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports stories in the nation's capital and beyond. And we bring it to you live. Welcome to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream edition of Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Of course, I'm your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for joining me for another week of this special show. I know there's lots in store. I know you guys are watching basketball. The NBA is back, which we're all very excited about. I have it on. We're watching this interview. We're also talking football because training camp is underway, and I have a very special guest joining me today for the very first time on this very show. He is joining us from Atlanta. He is with the Atlanta Hawks. You might have seen his name in the headlines lately. He's been making a lot of good leeway, doing a lot of good outside of football, which we love on this very show. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to my very special guest. He goes by the name of Jamon Brown. He is a former U of L Cardinal and a current Atlanta Falcons offensive lineman. And right now he's going to be joining me live, sharing his story and giving us all the latest and greatest from training camp. And of course, yes, we're going to talk about what the Atlanta Falcons will do this football season. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him onto the show. Jamon, how are you today?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for joining. I enjoyed watching you dance behind the scenes to our DC go-go music. It's good to see we got some love from you down there in the ATL.
Of course. You know, any kind of good beat gets me moving.
That's good. Look, maybe you're an honorary DC native. I just named you that on this very show. We'll give it to you because we take pride in our music here in the nation's capital. But first, Jamon, I like to check in with my guests. How are you feeling? How are you doing? What's the latest with you? I know you came from training camp, so now you're tired.
Right. So we've been checked in for a couple of days now. Obviously, everything looks different with COVID-19. It's just been a lot of testing. It's been a lot of social distancing. But I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to see what this season looks
like.
Yeah. Basketball in the bubble, but basketball's on the way. So I'm excited that we're starting to get back in. We're starting to get back in the groove of it, and I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, we are excited for the season too. As you know, fans have been awaiting. I know training camp kicking off this week. Like you said, it's different. I can't even imagine what it's like for you to enter this new season. You know, COVID has just been an unknown. We're trying to prevent it. We see players now saying, hey, I'm not going to play in the 2020 season. I have a family. I just don't feel safe. So many just changes. You all are getting used to things. The Falcons will have way less fans in the stands now that you all are preparing for. And let's talk about that. I mean, you're used to playing in front of these big crowds. You know, you come from Louisville, right? And then you go to the NFL. You're playing in the NFL. You're used to the good fans and the bad fans, the ones that are cheering you on and booing you. Now, I mean, what's it going to feel like to have less fans in the stands for you?
I mean, when you think about the game, obviously you think about, of course, us players, but you know what makes the game to me is the fans. You know, what makes the season opener is, you know, how crazy the fans are, how loud they are, and you know how hostile they are sometimes. And so going into a season saying that, you know, we're going to have limited amount of fans or no fans, if any, it's going to be exciting to see. Because how do we create that game day atmosphere that requires everybody? You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be different, but look, I don't put it past you. I know you'll still be awesome and great. And talking about fans, I'd probably say your biggest fan is your beautiful daughter. I love it. You're a girl dad on this show. You all have such a tight connection and bond. Just talk about what's it like for you being a father in the NFL and playing at this top high caliber rate.
Right. um, you know, you. And so, I think it's important for me to be a good example for my daughter on what a man looks like.
Mhm.
Um, a man who's trying to chase his career, but trying to keep his faith and his family first. But two, just trying to give her a life that I didn't necessarily grow up with, but
Right.
being able to experience different things, and I think she loves it. She loves it, and we'll continue to get closer as she gets older. I'm excited to see what life throws at us. But up to this point, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm glad to be a girl dad. You know what I mean?
I love it. Like, we need more of that. We need more love for that. And just as you teach her these life lessons, has she embraced
Definitely,
yet that her dad's a
definitely.
football player, a top caliber football player
Oh,
that she's gonna get to see every
listen,
weekend very soon?
listen. You know how girls are. Definitely take pride in what they have. So, having me as a football player, and as she gets older and
Yeah.
understands, kind of what the role of athletes hold in our community. She takes pride in telling everybody that her dad plays for the Falcons, and I make sure I try to represent her the right way.
I love that. And talking about just representing, you've been doing a lot lately, Jamon, off the football field. I absolutely love what you're doing, really bringing attention and noise in the community. One thing I know that you've been trending for, you decided to take a step to honor Breonna Taylor, who we know Oprah, shout out to her, graced her on the cover of O Magazine. Oprah took herself off
Come
and
on
honoring
now.
her memory. We need to say her name. I think it's so important that images like that are happening. But you're planning to wear
Definitely.
her name on your helmet this NFL season. Obviously, you went to Louisville. You have a connection to that community. You do a lot of great work in that community. Why was that
Right.
decision and step made? Why was it so important for you to represent her in that way?
Because I'm a Louisville native, I try to take Louisville everywhere I go. And
Yeah,
because the situation happened right there at home, it happened so close to home for me, I thought it was important that I make sure I do my part in trying to keep her legacy alive, but also
yeah,
trying to bring her justice, right? Because we look at her case and how it was mishandled, and definitely in our community, what we try, well, I hope, our community
yeah.
is trying to make sure each other accountable. And so I'm trying to make sure that wearing her name, you see it, you think about it, and hopefully it gets the change that we need.
Yeah, the change that we need when you found out that the NFL was open to this, right? And trying to work with players to make sure they had a voice on the football field. What were your thoughts in terms of that leadership and that decision being made for you all to just have freedom of expression and freedom to just make sure people know where your heart is and where your causes lie?
I mean, to be honest, it's about damn time if I could, be
Look, keep it
unprofessional
real. We
for a
keep it real
second. You
on
know what I
this
mean?
show,
But
Jamal.
yeah, we have to, because if you look at life right now,
Yeah,
COVID-19 has just shown us how real things are. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so the NFL stepping up and allowing players an outlet when we know our history, right? We know
right,
Kaepernick who stood up a couple years back for something that he believed in. The NFL didn't take too kindly of it. So wrapping back around and them kind of having a change of heart and being open and
right.
trying to welcome some of that freedom of expression by us players. It's good to see. It's the
Yeah.
first step that I think we need, stepping into a new league, stepping into a new day, stepping into a new world. You know what I mean? So it's good to have a business like the NFL starting to lead by example.
I'm glad you said that. A business. They make a lot of money, right? With you all at the helm. And
Hey,
like you said,
hey, you
I'm
said
just
we could
keeping it
keep it real
real.
on here, right?
Yeah, look, they
You
make a
know what I
lot of
mean?
money, all right? But going off of that, I mean, like you said, I think it's time. We're watching the NBA now. We see what the NBA did to allow players to just freedom of expression, Black Lives Matter painted on the court. The
Mhm.
WNBA, the ladies, we see what they've done, wearing Breonna
There you
Taylor's
go.
name on their backs. And talking about Louisville, someone that also has represented the area very well. McCautry, cannot think about her or forget about her.
Definitely,
Also, just leading
definitely.
initiatives to make sure that Breonna Taylor is not in vain. And I think to you, the Louisville
Right.
community, talk about how they've rallied just behind this to make sure that Breonna Taylor is not forgotten until justice is served.
Well, I mean, when you look at what's going on, it's kind of what
Yeah.
we're really putting that to action when
Right.
you see people from all different shades and all different backgrounds has come together and has stood up and said, "Hey, listen,
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor was not only our friend but our family, our sister, and she was mistreated, mishandled, and we're going to make sure that
Right.
us as friends and family." And her community, that we make sure that she gets the justice and definitely gets the recognition that she deserves.
And as we look to honor Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and so many other countless names, and the locker room, and I know you haven't been obviously around the guys a lot, but there's different emotions and feelings on how best to do this. There's going to be some players that kneel before the national anthem. You know, we have Lift Every Voice and
Mm-hmm.
Sing, the Black or Negro national anthem that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
played before week 1. I mean, are
Right.
these conversations that you all are having in your group chats, or, going to have in the locker room, or just kind of more just a personal
They
decision
definitely
that each player is making?
no. It's conversations that I think every locker room's having all
Yeah.
across the nation, because we have our white counterparts that want to know what can they do to help. How
Right.
do we show our support? How do we align with this movement
Yeah.
and help move the dial? And I think it's those conversations that day. And so being able to stand with a teammate that carries a different face and have his support, I
Yeah.
think has been really momentum building. And I know in our locker room we have a lot of players dedicated to making sure here in Atlanta we do our part, leading by example, showing
Right.
our community how we all need to unite, how we all need to come together because we all have the same problems, right? COVID-19 is a problem that hit us all. It didn't matter what shade you was. It didn't matter, what economic status you was. It didn't
Right.
matter. And so I think that's starting to come out, and I'm excited to see what it really turns into.
Yeah. And I think what it turns into is what we're all excited about. Again, I think most people are happy you all have a voice. But to those people, Jamon, who say, just play the game. We don't want to see this. We pay to watch you all play. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Right,
What would you say to those people? They're
right,
saying, you know what?
right.
I'm not going to watch the Falcons anymore because people like you, Jamon. What would you say to those people out there?
So be it. Eventually, those people will become the minority. As
Hmm.
as awkward as that may sound,
Yeah.
we got to continue to shed light on those people because those are the people that are holding us back. To be all the way honest, those are
Right.
the people that don't understand what's going on and have yet to really try to wake up and empathize with what's going on. I think you
Right.
see a lot of people that say, "Hey, listen." I don't understand what the Black communities went through, right? I didn't live those
Yeah.
same struggles, but what I can do is listen, try to understand, and
Yeah.
that's it. And those people that take that stance, we stand with them. The people that take the stance, like you said, shut up and dribble or just play
Yeah.
ball. Those are the ones we want to try to keep having those conversations with and try to move their hearts to understand where we're headed.
And when you talk about having those conversations, I think, of course, it goes to fans, it goes to people that aren't playing the sport. But I want to go back to that locker room aspect. If there's a player that says,
Hmm.
Jamon, and you and the other players that, are going to be protesting the season, I don't agree. I'm
Hmm.
going to stand for the anthem. I agree there's a problem, but I don't agree with
Hmm.
the way things are going. Will that cause a rift, when y'all are on that football field, do you think? Or how will you handle those internal conversations?
I mean, in any locker room that I've been in,
Yeah.
we like to consider ourselves family. And so, like any of us know, because we all have families,
Yeah.
there's things we do good, there's things we do bad. You know what I mean? And
True.
so, during those times, you might have a heated conversation, but all you can do is at times agree to disagree. you
Yeah.
know, and as long as we can stand and respectfully respect each other's opinions and sides, then there will be no rift. And I think
Yeah.
in the locker room we do the best job of handling problems like that, right? Because all of us come from different upbringings and different backgrounds, but yet
Right.
we're able to compromise those things and come together and play the game of football.
Right.
So I think type of stuff will happen. They have happened.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is as long as we communicate and work through those things, we'll be fine.
I love that. Y'all are going to be fine. Like, we're rooting for the Falcons. Let's talk some football because you are a football player, so
now.
it's only right.
Come on.
And actually, I'm gonna start a little trouble, Jamon. You know, talking about Louisville here in the DMV area, even though some don't consider Baltimore in the DMV area. Lamar Jackson, a guy also, you know, went to Louisville. A guy
Come on,
you probably know just a little bit, yeah. Number one,
you know,
the top NFL 100.
I might know the guy.
You might know him, you know, just maybe pass by him. How do you feel about some of the criticism that he's getting being voted number one, let's say, over that guy, Patrick Mahomes, that was at number 4. Many are saying, hey, wait, but did you guys see that he won just won the Super Bowl MVP? But some are saying, hey, look, I mean, Lamar Jackson's doing things that players realize is not seen before. What are just your thoughts and feelings on the overall conversation?
I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people would have that argument. You know, why isn't the Super Bowl quarterback, you know, the number one, right? Because we know, you know, the quarterback position in the game of football is the leader and should be the one recognized. But when you look at the body of work that Action Jackson has done, I mean, from a fellow player, I got to tip my hat to him. You know, he's done things that, you know, at times I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, how do you even think of that? You know what I mean? Because the game's happening so fast, and you got to make so many split-second decisions to be able to do it in the light and the fashion that he does. You got to give him respect. However, I would like to call out ESPN, sports and Madden, and not giving my man the 99 rating though. You got.
I know. What is it? 94. He got.
How do you be the rank number? Yeah, I'm not even sure. I couldn't even look into it. I just know it wasn't 99. That's falling short of everything he is.
I love that you said that because I think we live in this era where people aren't used to Lamar Jackson. He's doing incredible things. He just led the Baltimore Ravens to their best franchise record in history. But saying all that to say, why do you think Lamar is still overlooked as a player, still not getting the respect that he deserves? I mean, what's it going to take for Lamar to just finally shut the haters up and prove them wrong?
Kelsey, you want me to answer that question?
I do want you to answer that question. I do want you to answer it.
Unfortunately, you know, the stigmatisms and the prototypical quarterback, he doesn't fit. Right? He's a scrambling quarterback. You know, he relies on more of his athleticism, which that's what makes him him. You know what I mean? And we have a history in our league of critiquing those type of players. When you look at Michael Vick, right? We know he was a player that literally evolved the game of football himself. The things that he started doing at that position, the quarterback position, which was, you know, not seen in the light like he was doing it in that fashion. That's when things started to change. And so I think, you know, it's just a matter of time before he gets the credit that he's due. He's, for some people, getting the credit, right? He is the cover athlete of Madden. He is, you know, the MVP. So there is some people that understand. Not everybody, but eventually it's going to be everybody.
I agree. He's putting the league on notice. Like Derrick Henry messed that team up last year, but many thought that they could have got to the promised land and maybe have hoisted it all. But look, it's a new season. They're going to work. The Falcons are going to work because I don't want to count you out either. Look, I believe y'all are going to do some work.
You better believe it.
So just going off, let's talk about your football career. I mean, you've been playing the game now a nice little while now. You were you're entering your sixth season, drafted by the Rams in the third round of the 2015 draft. Just take me back to that moment.
You know, it feels like it was so long ago, but it was just yesterday. You know what I mean? But in 2015, getting that phone call and finally, you know, my dream becoming my reality, you know, was breathtaking. Now sitting here year 6, everything feeling like
which is no small feat.
So fast. Which is no, it's not. You know, it's hard. Hard. enough to make
Yeah.
it to stay. I think hopefully. But in 2015, when my dream became reality,
Yeah.
um, I I then knew that what people may say is impossible can be possible
I
as
love
long as
that.
you wholeheartedly believe yourself, as long as you wholeheartedly believe in it. Um,
Yeah.
it can happen. So that happened for me. I then made it my goal to make sure somebody else experienced that same thing. Make sure that somebody else reached their dream, whatever that may be. And that's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, you have experience. You were with the Rams, went to the Giants. And of
Mm.
course, now we see you with the
Yes,
Falcons. But let's first talk about that Rams experience. Talk about just the highs and lows that you took from that franchise.
yes. So yes, the high, right? The first high being drafted, right?
Yeah.
The
Of
dream
course.
stays alive, right?
Yeah.
That's you got to start there. Then, going from St. Louis to LA, moving with the franchise,
Yeah.
experiencing hard knocks and our low seasons. Again, we didn't have a winning season until my third season in the league, which
Mm.
Sean McVay ended up becoming the head coach, and that's when we kind of got things turned around. And experiencing that season, right? Making it to the
Yeah.
playoffs again since 2003. Obviously getting cut short by the Falcons,
Mhm.
getting cut short
Of
by the
course.
Falcons
See how life comes
in the
full circle?
hey, it's crazy. It's crazy, but being a part of that turnaround was awesome, and then being able to 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 then travel to New York, I had a great experience there. Was able to help, that organization um, five, be 500 by the end of the season was awesome. But then finally signing that contract that everybody waits on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That second contract with Atlanta and being able to come down here and trying to get settled in. And I'm excited for this year. We got my boy Todd back, which me and Todd we was together with the Rams, and to have him
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and we have a couple pieces on the defensive side that I'm excited about.
Yeah, and just going off of that, I mean, I love what you said, signing that contract. And I know I saw you're the first millionaire in your family, right?
Hey, there it is. There it
So,
is.
so
I
you're the
am.
one that we're
I
starting to
am.
write our Christmas list now, and we're gonna slide it in your DMs in December,
Hey, look,
right? Is that what the
you
family's
got to
doing?
get it in. You got to get it there early. The slots close quick. You know what I mean?
But going off of that, I mean, what does that really mean to you, though? Like, you achieved the dream. I mean, most people won't get the chance to see that many
Right.
zeros in their lifetime. You
Right.
are a millionaire. You're playing the game that you love. You've achieved your dream. You have a little one that is going to, of course, continue your legacy. I mean, what does it all mean to you, Jamon?
Um, it's purpose. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Again, making the money is great. Um,
Right.
I see the money as a tool to ensure security for my family. But
Right.
above all, like you said, making the dream the reality is the main part for me. And so, being able to do that, show my daughter that if she believes in herself and if she works hard enough,
Yeah.
whatever her dream may be, it's obtainable. That's
Mm-hmm.
been the best feeling for me. That's been the best feeling for me, and I've been trying to make sure that I do whatever I can to help my community, help others outside
Yeah.
myself experience that same thing. Like you said, a lot of people will never experience what I experienced, but if I can help somebody, that's my goal. That's my plan.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It's all about helping, giving back, and blessing those with your blessings. And just, going off of that, I mean, it seems like you don't take it lightly, but far too often, us in the media, Jamon, have to do that story of those athletes who had this great career, made the money, and then what happens, Jamon? What's the story you think we have to do all
Right,
the
we
time?
go bankrupt.
Yeah, the
Oh
money's
man, the bankrupt
gone. I
stories.
don't want to keep doing that story. So, I mean, talk about what are you kind of doing now to not be on that side? Because I don't want you on the show in the future. And we're talking about that opposite side. I want you to be on the show in the future,
Definitely.
talking about the success that you had from playing in the NFL. How do we prevent that? What are you doing now to kind of prevent, that from happening?
Well, one, I think you need a team. Because again, I told you I'm a first gen, so that means I don't come from a line of understanding money and keeping money. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so, my main objective become educated, more educated, of course, in the financial realm.
Mm-hmm.
Also help my family educate themselves, just because, obviously, we pull on each other. You know what I mean? And so the more that we all have the same knowledge and are able to help each other, we can move further ahead. So that's my biggest plan, is really educating. I have a team, financial team, that help me make sure, I'm saving, I'm investing how I
Yes.
need to ensure generational wealth, because that's my goal.
Yeah.
But educating myself is the main part. I think for a lot of people, it's all about education, knowing, how money can work for you, how your money can work for you, right? Because some of us think it takes the big buku dollars, but really, with what you got is all you need. You know what I mean?
Right. I love that because, like you said, it's on you. You're putting the steps in place. Because again, I know it won't happen to you, but I had to talk about it again because I get tired of doing that story. Y'all are set up,
No,
and
definitely.
all this stuff happens. But we see the fancy cars and these expensive houses. I'm not saying you shouldn't get it. You work for it. You earned it. But just making sure
Right,
that, like you said generational wealth. You have a little one to think
right,
about, right? She's
right.
probably going to have kids in the future, and you kind of want to continue that Brown family pipeline. And talking about that too, talking
Sure,
about
yeah.
your family. You're a twin, right?
I am. I am.
How does that work?
I'm
Y'all don't split the money 50-50? He doesn't make sense. Look, since
ah
twins, don't y'all share everything
look,
anyway?
look, look. We probably, when we got, probably in high school, stopped sharing everything. But my brother, he is musically inclined. He's a recording artist. He is a producer. We've started our own label, J Molly Songs, and so
Nice.
it's been great to kind of assist him. Again, I told you my purpose was to help someone else reach their dream, and so
Mm-hmm.
being able to start with somebody so close to me, like my twin brother, and trying to
Yeah.
help him elevate himself and really reach the goals and the heights that he wants. It's been great,
Yeah.
learning and just watching him grow, but then also we grow together.
I love that. I have to put you on the spot now since you do music. Do we get a sample
Oh
or a
man.
taste of what y'all are doing?
Oh,
Look, you brought it
I got to talk to my brother about that. Look, I got to talk to my brother before I can disclose it. He might not want me to release anything. You know what I mean?
up. We'll let you out of that one. But that's so awesome again that you're doing that. Another fun fact about you, your favorite color is purple, which I love.
Oh
I don't know
yes.
how,
Oh
maybe I
yes.
don't want to get you in trouble, but then maybe we'll see you with these purple guys in our area, the Baltimore Ravens team, since they got some purple. But again, don't want to get you in trouble. But only time will
Hey,
tell, right?
listen.
Only time will tell. Again, not getting you in
Only
trouble.
time will tell. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah,
Hey,
pretty good
don't
over here, right?
at this point you can kind of speak freely. What I mean, at the end of the day, wherever it calls it and it takes me, I go. So if my time here in the Falcons it comes to a close and the Baltimore Ravens want to give me a call, hey, so be it. So be it.
Right. Look, it's life, right? You just never know what's gonna happen. And then also just talk about never know what's gonna happen. One thing I love that you do to control what happens is you do a lot in the community. I thought it was so awesome in your area. ESPN 680, they were one of 10 ESPN affiliates across the country that were given the honor of handing out ESPN awards to local teams. You were up for the Humanitarian Hometown Hero Award. When I say that, Jamon, what does that mean? Yes, congratulations to you. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, it's hard to put in words. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Again, a lot that have reached the level that I'm on. A lot of us athletes, when we go back and give back to our communities and give back to the causes and initiatives that we care about, we don't really do it for the recognition. You know what I
Right.
mean? But let's be honest. It feels good to be recognized, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so, being one group
Yeah.
like you raised around non-college group and
Yeah.
considered elite with those people, was like a dream come true. And then obviously, being nominated for an award like a humanitarian award,
Yeah.
for me it's everything, because I care about people, other than myself,
Yeah.
other than my family, other than people. And
Yeah.
so, guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awesome. Look, I love it. So
Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me
I'm
in
not
trouble.
getting you in trouble. Look, I don't want you, don't want Desmond to come look searching for me, all right? But
Look, they're
just
gonna
go.
be like, man, he got soft on me.
I love it. And just going off that, talk about your foundation and the work that you all do and the work that you will plan to do in the future.
Okay. Um, so I started my foundation, the Jamon Brown Foundation, year 2 in the league. And our mission was to impact the lives of people that struggle with poverty, violence, and youth and young adult homelessness.
Hmm.
Educating, those areas that you see those issues in
Right.
on, financial literacy, healthy living, and different things like that. But above all, getting the community to help itself,
Right.
because at the end of the day, the people that we need to change our community live in the community. It's all
Yeah.
about rallying together and teaming up together and using all our different talents and all of our different minds together to shape a new community, a new world that we want. And so that's kind of what the Jamal Brown Foundation does. We bring awareness to different causes and initiatives that already exist. And we try to help fund some of those initiatives and causes. But again, create opportunities. Right now, we're trying to get an empowerment center, and which the
Nice. I
empowerment
love that.
center is going to be a place that creates opportunity for the community.
Right.
We're trying to do it in the west part of Louisville, which is one of the communities in our city. Is a community that I grew up in, and so
Right.
obviously it's dear and near to my heart. But this empowerment center is supposed to create jobs. It's supposed to help the the I guess the value of the community in that area increase. It's supposed to help us as a Black community and as
Yeah.
a community within our city to start thriving. You know what I mean? That's what that's for. So right now, all focus is on that and trying to get that off the ground, which I think we're on track.
Oh, you're on track. Like you said, you're in an award with Rajon Rondo. Come on. Y'all are definitely on track. That doesn't just happen. Most of us would love to see our name
Right,
in the same group with that. So that means you are doing something right.
right.
Again, I applaud you. And Jamal, we're talking a lot about Louisville, but for those that only know Louisville from the games we see on TV from the university, just talk about what was it like for you growing up in Louisville? Describe the community, describe the area, and kind of what led you to start picking up that first football, and of course lead you to where you are today.
Right. Um, when you look at Louisville,
Hmm.
when you look at the state of Kentucky, right?
Right.
We don't have pro sports. We don't. We're a small, kind of small town type of feel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, growing up in Louisville, you either like the Cardinals or you like the Wildcats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I grew up a Cardinal fan. It wasn't too long before my dad really pushed putting that Cardinal helmet on, and
Yeah.
I think I was about 7 years old when I picked that football up. And since then, you know, everybody in the community, since I've started playing, has always supported me and said, "Hey, Jamon, stick to it. You're gonna go as far as you can go." You know what I mean? And so, having that support from my community, because if you grew up in Louisville, it's a real small place, right? You probably, by the time you reach high school, know everybody you need to know. And
Everyone knows
so,
your first and last name. That
yeah,
government. Yeah.
hey, everybody knows everybody. And so, that camaraderie from our community, you gotta love. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I love it. Look, Louisville, I have love for you. All obviously did good things in that football program. Well, I'm gonna give you a chance to toot your own horn. Talk about just some of your favorite memories playing for the Cardinals on the football front.
Oh man, playing for the Cardinals. Well, I played under Coach Strong. We
Yeah.
was Sugar Bowl champions in
Yeah.
2013. Come
Oh,
on,
you did a
come
little
on. We
something.
beat we beat the Florida Gators.
Yep.
But then you look at a year when I got drafted, we had 11 Cardinals drafted that year.
Mhm.
I think that was a school record. If it wasn't already, I believe that set the record because that's hard to do. But that
Right.
just showed, think the of University of Louisville, which being a
Yeah.
hometown kid, that always feels good to hear. You want
Yeah.
your school to be known as a powerhouse in your sport, especially. But to see Louisville start to get that recognition, it just makes me want to smile from ear to ear.
I love that look. We're all so happy for Louisville. And also, you had graduated, right, with your degree in justice administration. So, talk about what led you to that major. And
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
planning to do anything after football with that degree?
It's crazy because um, during a time like this, right? I
Yeah.
sit here and think about, how you do anything is how you do everything. So I didn't know
Yeah.
really why I chose justice administration until now, right?
Yeah.
Justice administration is a degree that could help me, kind of lead into being a lawmaker. You know what I mean? And so, who
Yeah.
would have thought during the Breonna Taylor injustice,
Mm,
kind of period,
right.
that my degree would come full circle. And I think that's kind of how God intends things to happen. And
Yeah.
so, getting that degree, it allowed me to be educated, one about, our systems, our laws and things like very important, especially in these times to be educated on things like that.
Yeah.
But also, I plan on, who knows, possibly being the president when I'm done playing football. Who knows?
Yeah.
So stay tuned. You know what I mean? Stay tuned.
Well,
I
I pick
think I
you
want
over
to try to.
Kanye, Jamon.
Hey, well, listen, I got one vote. Now I know. Listen, y'all heard it here first. Y'all
I
heard
love
it
it.
here. So,
Look, you're getting love. You're getting love. It needs to happen. It
yeah,
needs to happen. Look, get all your
yeah.
teammates around you too. Look, that's a lot of votes right there. Look, city of Atlanta. You never
Definitely,
know. We might see
definitely.
it in the future. I love it. This has been so much fun, Jamal. Before I let you go, because I know I want to keep you rested. I don't want coach yelling at me because you didn't show up in training
Hey,
camp. We kept you too long. Are you watching any hoops? NBA started back today. Are you watching any WNBA hoops? How are you feeling this
I'll
time?
be honest with you. I started trying to watch, and it's just weird. It's just
Yeah,
weird, and I think it's something I still got to get used to,
yeah,
just because you don't see the fans. And
yeah,
again, JB is a person for the people, and so if I don't have the people out there, it's kind of hard for me to really get into it. So, it's been interesting watching them.
yeah,
It kind of looks like summer
yeah.
league basketball right now, but just to have the sport back on the TV and have something to watch and something to kind of talk about has been great. So, hopefully, I'm a LeBron James fan. Hopefully, the Lakers has
Yeah. All right, Joanne, can you still hear us? Do we still have you? There we go.
yes,
So is,
yes. I'm
is
sorry, I
LeBron, is
cut
he
in
winning
and
that
out right there. I'm
MVP?
sorry,
You're good. You're good. Is he winning that MVP award, Jamon?
man. Listen, I he has my vote, so I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, he is. Yes,
All
he
right,
is.
Giannis. Sorry.
Yeah.
Look, I love it.
Hey, you
I love
like who you like. You know what I mean?
you do. It's true. And just with the crowd noise and going back to the fans, seeing the cardboard cutouts and the crowd noise, that's just still not going to do it for you. I'm just being honest. It's not
Oh
going to do
man,
it for you.
it's you know what? I guess beggars can't be choosers in all points. So I'm gonna say yes. It will
Yeah.
do it. It's going to be weird. It takes some time to get used to, but yes, it'll be good enough.
Nice. Like I love it. Well, again, I have to get you to on time training camp. We're not going to be blaming me. So any last words for the listening audience?
Listen, if I could, inspire anybody out there, those of you who are sitting around thinking about during these times, what can I do? How can I be changed? Understand no role or no job is too small. You can
Yeah.
influence your circle, you can influence the people you can influence, and we need to do that. If somebody's thinking the wrong way and not, thinking how we need them to think, hey, have that conversation. You could do that. And so
Yeah.
everybody can do something. And so I
Everybody.
urge everyone who's listening, who's watching, um, stay start at home. Start with your friends. Talk about those hurried conversations. Talk about everybody being seen as equal, because that's what we need.
I love that. Everybody being seen as equal. It's what we need. Everyone can do something. Your words are so fitting, especially as we watch the funeral procession for Representative, the late, great John Lewis. So much that we could go into and touch on. But really quickly, before I let you go, I want to ask this one question because Antoine is representing Atlanta. Your outlook for 2020 for the Atlanta Falcons?
No.
Put you on the
I hate
spot.
to put predictions on it, but I hate putting predictions on things. Just know if I could say, we didn't make the playoffs, but I think we'll make a playoff push.
Yeah. And just because I see it still happening on social media, when the players see this 28-3, always coming up. Is it still a sore spot, or y'all past that? Are players past that?
No, you gotta have a flushing mentality, next play mentality. So yeah, we're past it. We're past
Tell them to leave y'all alone on social media, Jamon. It was such.
You got to.
Such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Kelsey.
I'll let you get back to games and relaxing and everything else you do. And best wishes to you this upcoming football season.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks. And tell the little one hello. We love the girl dad. So thanks again.
I surely will.
Thanks. Bye, Jamon.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream edition of Listen In with KNN. It's been fun. Jamon Brown, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you all catch him on the football field for the Atlanta Falcons this 2020 NFL season. Fingers crossed, of course, that we get to that point and get to play. Join me on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I welcome actress Natasha Ward from Tyler Perry's BET drama series, The Oval. It's going to be lots of fun. We're talking sports. We're talking entertainment. And, of course, we're talking the latest and greatest with the show. Thank you, as always, for joining me on the show. Use hashtag Listen with KNN or hashtag LIWKNN. Antoine, I got you. I couldn't let you down when I had somebody that plays for the great city of Atlanta on this show. But again, thank you all for joining me. We're back every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We made a special exception for Jamon, but you all can see why. He's great. He had training camp, didn't want to get him in trouble with coach, so we pushed the show back. But usually every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday usually at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, the podcast version of the show drops every Tuesday at noon on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. Check it out. Of course, I'm Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Look for me on social media. Talk with me. Sports are back. And, we're in for a good one. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye-bye.
Follow Kelsey on social media at @TheRealKNelson and catch each broadcast of Listen In with KNN on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM Fox Sports Radio on YouTube, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this special live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.